So this is a new one. We've not had a question about a vacant lot so far. Bob has a question, and he wants to know about his home value. Says, I have a vacant lot that I own outright. I've got a quote to build a home on it for $350,000. So the lot is $50,000. And if he sold the house, would the price be $400,000, the lot and the house? Trying to make sure he doesn't overbuild or undervalue the property. Thank you very much.
Sure. Yeah, that's a great question, Bob. Thank you for that and listening to the show. So there's two ways to really approach this answer, or this question, I should say. So one, you could get an appraisal from the blueprints. Most banks will do that, and most banks will require that, especially if you're getting a loan. So the blueprints and the value that they're going to come up with is going to factor in the land value to the total appraised value. Okay, so it's going to be included in there. The other thing you could do is just take a look at some of the homes that have sold in around that subdivision, and take a look and just look in the past and see what those owners basically got for the property, and you can also get the lot value factored into that as well. Typically, it's not, hey, the house is, $350,000 and we're just going to add on the value of the property. That typically, it sometimes works that way just from a coincidental math standpoint, but it's not a guarantee that the entire lot cost or whatever you paid for it is going to be added, simply because it depends on when you bought it. I mean, you could have got a really good value on the lot. It could be worth considerably more depending on how many years or how long you've had that. So, the bank, no question, again, still just going to want to have that appraisal there. That's their standard operating procedure, and they're going to take that into consideration. The other thing too is I've seen it over the years where it's went up and down. So depending on, again, what's happening in the subdivision. So if you bought the lot 10 years ago, you would think today's value would be worth more, but you could have just purchased the lot and it doesn't even bring, as far as evaluation-wise, what you paid. And so there's a lot of subdivisions that we can go back and look, hindsight's 20/20, they say. So prior to that, the 2008 crash, I mean, we watched lot values go through the roof in the Triad, especially in Oak Ridge and Summerfield areas in Guilford County, a couple areas in Clemens. And what happened is after the crash, we also saw those lot values decrease by almost 50%. And so, you paid $150,000 for the lot, and you didn't build because the market was going crazy or whatever it was, and you just opted to hold on to the lot. Well, after the crash, I mean, that thing was, maybe $75,000. So that hurts. And so that lot value in this scenario wouldn't be added to the cost of the house because it would have been upside down or underwater, as we say in the real estate business. So, my best advice is, get with your bank or whoever it is if you're going to finance and take a look at it. The good thing is if you paid cash for the lot, the banks will take that in consideration and that value as part of your down payment. So if you had to put 20% down, let's say, to finance the property and you already own the lot free and clear, then that factors into that overall value as well. So, it can still be helpful for sure. But the best way to know is get with the bank, find out what they're going to do. And, you may have paid, a discounted rate, which is great. It'll help you. I've seen owners, though, where they've bought a lot and then didn't really care about the valuation because it was the location that they were buying. So there's a lot of different reasons to purchase in a certain subdivision or area, and sometimes you'll pay more to be exactly where you want, typically from a convenience factor or something like that. It's close to a school, it's close to your job, it's going to cut down on your drive time. And so there's a value to saving time, right? If you were commuting 2 hours a day, and this cuts that down to 20 minutes, you'd probably be willing to pay a premium for that lot. And so that factors into what worth is, because the worth is different for everybody. Mm-hmm. If I'm saving 4 hours of my life a day, man, that lot could be worth a lot, right? Yeah. Just because I can save so much time. So something to consider. It's a good question, Bob, and we appreciate you listening to the show. But yes, I would get an appraisal. That will at least give you a good metric to work from, especially if your financing is going to have to be done no matter what.